What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we're going to talk about Dark Dimension 6. Yes, I was able to start yesterday and we already did a few attacks, and the experience is pretty decent. It's not like super difficult as I was expecting, but it requires you to set up the nodes in a way that after you delete a few enemies, then you're going to be able to progress a lot more. So this is going to be something that is going to be more similar to Dark Dimension 3 rather than it was compared to Dark Dimension 4, which was super easy, and even Dark Dimension 5 was very easy as well. So the difference between Dark Dimension 6 and Dark Dimension 3 is that back then in Dark Dimension 3 the enemies would spawn with a lot of speed bar, and the enemies, they have insane amount of health compared to that current time in the meta, and this is not going to be the case. Now we're going to talk about which characters you should consider, how you want to set up these nodes, and see how you can progress to them after. And we're going to take a look at the gameplay of my first attacks and see what exactly we have to do in order to be successful through these. Always remember that Dark Dimension is not a sprint, even that some people like to believe it. It's a marathon, so it's going to take some time. You're going to ship away some of those nodes, and then you're going to see that you'll be able to complete it easily. There are some characters that we should not take at all to Dark Dimension based on how it's made, this specific game mode, and there are other characters that you should take for sure. So we're going to talk about all of that in this video, and as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it to your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure to smash that like button like a boss. Okay, let's get started. Let's talk about Dark Dimension 6. Okay, so you can see right away, let's analyze the enemies first. We have a Kang, we have a Shang-Chi, we have Black Bolt, we have Jessica Jones, and we have Double Crystal. So you can see right away that we have problems, and we also have Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo is also important to mention. Yo-Yo is going to reduce our focus and damage by 50% whenever she is able to apply the passive. Then you have Shang-Chi, turning wind to our team. He's going to also use his special that clears negative effects away from the enemies, and is also able to provide a lot of healing. And then we have the crystals that if you cannot bypass the 50% health mark on the Inhumans, the crystals are going to do massive amount of heal to their allies. So you have two options: or you bypass the 50% health mark, or you have to stun both of them at the same time. And this helps us to figure out which characters we want to use for this specific scenario. We want fast characters, we want characters that are able to apply stuns, and of course characters that are able to remove health from the enemies. This is going to be one of the main points of it. And you can see that I'm setting the stage. I'm setting the stage for my big attack. You want to ship away, you want to set the stage, remove a few characters that are annoying, and then you have that big attempt that is really going to push you through the node. So on the first attack we removed Kang. On the second attack we didn't remove anyone, but that's fine, because on the third attack I was able to remove Shang-Chi and the shield operative. So now for the next attack, my goal is going to be to remove Jessica Jones or Black Bolt, or both of them. We'll see how that's going to work. But once again, if I want to delete some of these Inhumans, I have to bypass their health from 60% to like 40% to don't activate the passives. We are removing Shang-Chi because he removes negative effects. We are going to remove Jessica Jones because she gives energy and she also removes negative effects. And as soon as we have a way of keeping those negative effects on the characters, then we are not going to have any problem. So we are setting the stage so you can do a massive push on these enemies. So with the first attack I just managed to remove 10% of the health of the enemies, but once again we are setting the stage. You can see right here with the first attack I was able to remove 50 million health of the enemies. With the second attack just 11, and with the third attack we just remove a 30 million as well. So not the super big numbers, but you'll see that on the next one. You'll probably do like 150 or 200 million health removal from the enemies, because that's just how it works. Once again, this is a marathon, this is not a sprint. If you are trying to rush for this, it's gonna be a big mistake for you. Now, the characters that I'm using, what we talked about? We talked about stuns, we talked about characters that apply slow and speed up to control the enemies and to speed up our team. Then we have health removal that we can do with Kang, passive, and with the Nemesis, ultimate, special, and basic. Isolate attack as well. Then we have some protection for our characters, and we have also some turn rewind, and we also have the reduction of accuracy with Spider Weaver. So these are all going to be major points that you want to bring to your run. If you so desire, like if you want to bring any other character, like it's up to you. Yesterday we had some big discussion on why you should bring some characters and why you should not bring any characters. The characters you really don't want to bring is characters that don't benefit you at all in anything. So let's talk about that. When we are talking about Dark Dimension 6 characters or any Dark Dimension, we have the cost of the character and we have their utility. If the cost is too high, then their utility is not going to be great, because it's going to take you too long to gear them up, and that's going to set you behind for a very long time. Then we have characters that have a very low cost but I have very low utility, and this is going to mean that you are bringing these characters to Dark Dimension and they're not going to be useful at all. So what's the point? And this is the problem with the characters like Spider-Man Big Time. He's very cheap, but he does single target damage, while you are facing 10 enemies at the same time, or at least 8 you are facing at the same time. So the value that this guy is going to provide is very low, even that his cost is also low. So the cost low is a positive, but the fact that he gives you no value is a negative so bad that it completely overshadows the low cost of this character. Now, there are some rumors that Spider-Man Big Time will get a rework in the future, but it's not the case right now, so we'll have to wait and see. Now, other character that you don't want to bring is Baby Apocalypse. If you don't have Apocalypse with all the empowered abilities, and if he doesn't have 7 yellow stars and 4 red stars, if he's not maxed out, Apocalypse is not going to be that great. His cooldowns are too long, and his basic attack only does single target damage, so his impact is not going to be that great. He's also not able to apply negative effects that matter until he gets empowered, so Apocalypse is going to be like Gwenpool. It's going to be like Spider-Man Big Time. They are just going to do single target damage, and every now and then they are going to be able to use their ultimate or so on. That is not even going to be that impactful. So Apocalypse is one of those characters, like if you have the big Apocalypse, great. Take him because he's going to be amazing. If you have the baby Apocalypse, and if it's going to take a very long time for you to take Apocalypse to 7 yellow stars, then just forget about it because it doesn't matter. Okay, other characters that we can talk about. Let's talk about characters that you should actually consider. Something that is very important is characters that can revive. So characters like Val, like Dark Beast, like Captain Carter, those are going to be great as long as you are using the characters that they are great with, right? So you don't want to bring Captain Carter to after don't take Captain America, right? So if you take one, you have to take the other as well. It's a little bit heavy on the cost, but you have to sometimes get up a little bit of city, a little bit of global, a little bit of cosmic, just to make sure that you can afford to get up all these characters for their specific section. As you have this entry level of the no restrictions, that will allow you to set up it in a way. Other characters that we can talk about is Quicksilver, very long cooldowns, mostly single target damage. If you are not a whale, if you are not going to refresh the nodes 500 times per day, then this type of characters that are very high in cost and that have mostly single target damage, these are not recommended characters. And I don't know, like Black Widow, I thought she was great. The speed up on the team is very impactful. That's why I had to remove the enemy Kang first. It's because every time I would give speed up, the Kang would go faster. So You are setting the stage so you can go. Then you have Captain America for energy. We'll also take Captain Sam. That's another great Dark Dimension character. Then we have Shang-Chi, of course. Other characters like, let's see, we already talked about Captain Sam. OG Spider-Man, it's still one of the best Dark Dimension characters because he's able to apply defense down and slow to multiple characters. He also has Evade that completely bypasses any damage that is done to him. And he also has a stun, so he has literally all the tools that you need in order to be successful in Dark Dimension. Then we have other characters like Gwenpool, completely useless character, user special, user ultimate, and then you have to use basic for multiple turns, making her completely irrelevant. And that's it. So those are the characters that why you should focus on some characters, why you should not focus on other characters. Remember that you have to take a wide variety of gear types. You want to always take one bio, one skill, one tech, one mystic, and one mutant when you are gearing up your character. So that's why I was able to gear up my first wave of characters extremely fast. And now I'm already working on my second wave, and I'm actually almost complete. So I already have Kestrel, Phyla-Vell is very close to complete, Val is halfway through, and the Firestar is very close to complete as well. So I need to get one more tech or skill character to balance out this team, and then I have everything for my last wave of this character. So you can see that depending on the way you manage your gear, depending on which characters you start with, you might have a huge jump start and get one step closer of unlocking Super Scroll. That it's an insane character. I still didn't talk about this character, but he's so insane that the faster you get him, the better. Okay, so now that we talk about all of this, let's take a look at some gameplay of Dark Dimension and see what this is all about and the difficulties that we have to struggle with. Of course, if you want to have the best performance ever, you want to reset the nodes a few times just to make sure that you get what you want. Okay, so let's get started. Let's take a look at this. This was recorded during my live streams. If you guys want to check out live, if you want to give some feedback as well, how we do these nodes, you can do that every Monday to Monday, pretty much. Monday to Monday, we are live doing Marvel Strike Force, Tower, Dark Dimension, Raids, Cosmic Crucible, Arena. We talk about all of that every single day. So let's go. You can see that this is my first attack. I'm gonna stun the Kang, and I didn't use the speed up of Black Widow because I don't want the enemy Kang to go faster than mine, which is exactly what's gonna happen if I would give the speed up with Black Widow. So it might seem that Black Widow is useless at the beginning of the match, but it's just because we are setting up the stage to the point where she's gonna be extremely good. Okay, so now Nemesis with the big ultimate applies slow to the enemies, does massive health removal, health steal from the enemies, and this is how we are going to bypass those two crystals, is using the Nemesis ultimate to bypass the health of Yo-Yo and the Black Bolt, and then we can just finish them off. Okay, so Captain America got destroyed, Nemesis got destroyed, they just do a few attacks and that's it. Kang, in my opinion, should be a striker here because you want him to use his basic attack as often as possible so he can get more speed bar, so he can have more turns. Remember that every time Kang has a turn, he's stealing 3% health of the enemies, which is quite impactful, especially when it comes to keeping him alive. And that's it. So for the first node, we just focus on that Kang. We try to get him close to deletion as possible. Because he was stunned, the enemy Kang was not able to get that extra speed bar. And this is why the stuns are so important for Dark Dimension. Since you are facing so many enemies, you want to make sure that the enemies that are the most dangerous are not doing anything to you. So here we go, Shang-Chi also doing some healing to the enemies, which is inconvenient, but there you go. I think this was a great attack for the team that we had and with the limitations that we had. Second attack, now we are going to finally remove that Kang, and we're gonna start shipping away the other characters. We changed the strategy while we were doing this. I thought it was more important to focus on Yo-Yo, but then I saw that it was very difficult to push Yo-Yo below 50% health without having the Nemesis ultimate ready. Okay, so here, this is all based on RNG. You have to try it a few times to make sure that the characters you want get attacked. And when you are stealing the health of the characters, if you focus on the characters with a lot of health, like Black Bolt, that's also going to be convenient for you, because that means you are going to heal up the team a lot more. And remember that the less enemies you have, the less health steal you're going to be able to do. So here I was not sure, should I keep it, should I not keep it? We deleted Kang, so I decided to just keep it, and that was good enough progress in order to make us go forward. Okay, so this was the last attack that I did, and this time we're gonna focus on Shang-Chi. Once again, we are setting up the stage so we can do massive amount of damage after. So now that we remove Kang, now we can finally use the speed up of Black Widow, and because she's on stealth, that means we have a higher chance of Captain America and Spider-Weaver to get attacked, and that means that we'll have more energy on both of those characters. That will also provide other utilities, like applying those charges of Spider-Weaver that reduce the accuracy of the enemies, right? Okay, so there we go. We are draining the health of Shang-Chi with the Striker Eyes Await of Nemesis. Shang-Chi does the turn rewind to us. We have to make sure that we apply offense down to Shang-Chi, otherwise he would destroy my team with just one attack. And this is why it's so important to have a wide variety of negative effects on your toolkit of the characters you're going to use. So massive amount of damage to Shang-Chi using the basic there. Spider-Weaver, as you can see, because she is giving off offense up and defense up to her, she has a higher chance of survivability. Okay, Kang now with the basic, finishing off that Shang-Chi. And now I wanted to go for Jessica Jones, but it's just too late. So we're gonna wait for the next attack in order to remove her. And we also have the crystals low enough that we might be able to remove the health on the next attack. That's going to be extremely important, because or we have to finish off the crystals, or we have to finish off the other characters. So if you'd be able to finish off the crystals first, that would be quite insane. But as you can see, it's very hard to deal, because they remove the negative effects and they also heal up by 80%. It's massive. And yeah, you have to make sure that you start the nodes with their health low enough so it doesn't triggers the effect. But while we had Shang-Chi and other healers, it was just impossible. So you can see that one of the crystals on the side is not at full health, the other one still is, but that's fine. We were able to progress enough that we are going to make sure that we finish them off next turn. So you can see that, yeah, this Dark Dimension 6 is a lot harder than Dark Dimension 4 and 5. Dark Dimension 4, we got Doctor Doom, which was a great character. On Dark Dimension 5, we got Dormammu, which is another great character. I think all these Dark Dimension characters are quite great. But once again, Super Skrull is on another level. And I want to repeat this as often as possible, because yeah, as soon as you unlock him, the way you play Cosmic Crucible, Alliance Wars, and even Arena, or even most important of all, Arena, you're gonna see a huge increase of success rate or win rate, and also more power cores and all those things related with Arena. So yeah guys, that's the beginning of my journey in Dark Dimension 6. I hope to see you live every day on Twitch and on YouTube while you're going to do those attacks. We're also going to do Cosmic Crucible and other game modes as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. And if you found the video helpful, make sure you share it to your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Mouse Force content. And I'll catch you guys later.